What's up, Limeheads? Welcome to another video interview here at everyone's favorite website. You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Long Island Music and Entertainment. And today, our special guest is a very funny guy. He should be funny because he's an awesome comedian. Welcome, Mark Jigarjian. Did I say that right?
Oh, nailed the pronunciation.
Nailed it.
Whoa,
Awesome.
extra
Awesome. I was
bonus
afraid of that.
points.
All right, but from now on, we're going to call you from your stage name, your nickname, which is Jiggy. So
That's right.
Here at Long Island Music and Entertainment, we're about to get jiggy with it. You ready?
I'm ready.
So is that the first time you ever heard of that? Getting jiggy with it? I'm sure it's not, right?
No, especially with all this Will Smith stuff going on now. It's like it's coming back up. A lot of the getting jiggy with it stuff is coming up again.
Oh boy. All right. So once
I've not been assaulted on stage yet, thank God.
Okay. All right, that's good. Hopefully that will never happen.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get right into it. When did you realize that you were, a funny guy, or when did you realize that you wanted to break into the comedy world?
That's a good question. I mean, when I was a kid, I think I was like a class clown, at least in my own mind. So I used to like people. At least used to like make people laugh at school. I think when I got to college, I was a baseball player in school
Nice.
at college, and I used to tell jokes during stretches and workouts, and I used to do impressions of my teammates and coaches, and I think that gave me the ammunition to get on stage for the first time, which was when I was 20 or 21. And so I did open mics at college, and I'd bring all my teammates out. So I would flood the coffee shop or the small comedy club with all my teammates. So I felt like Kevin Hart when I was just starting because I had so much support. So
cool.
it came from just trying to make my friends laugh and trying to make my teammates laugh, and then once I got started, you're kind of moving downhill, so to speak. So one thing led to another. You write more, and I've been doing it now for 14 years.
Wow. Okay. All right, now you said you were a class clown back in the day. We were going to ask you if you were funny as a kid. What's one thing that you remember about being a class clown? What was one thing you did in school, or one thing growing up that stands out that is a funny story that you could tell us?
When I first thing I did when I was in school that was on stage, my first stage performance was it was an improv class, and at the end of every semester you did a improv or a sketch show. It really was a sketch class, and it was called Drama of Social Issues. So you got to pick every semester, you picked a social issue, and then you do a big sketch show for the entire school. So we had 900 kids who would come out and watch it. So The first time I was ever on stage, we did our big show on puberty, and so I had a character named Marcus, who was a badminton player, and it was like, I forget how I did this voice, but he wore suspenders, and I did these sketches as his character Marcus, the badminton player, and it was a huge hit. And the following days, when kids would try to do the impression of my character, that felt really good, and I remember thinking like, wow, this is pretty great to be on stage and make people laugh. So that was the first time where I thought I was funny in a way that could be something to do later in life or to continue.
Nice. What did you want to be before that? Before you realized you might have something there to go on stage? What did you want to do beforehand?
Well, it's funny, when Facebook first came out when I was in high school, you have to put what your major was in college, which I was in high school, so I obviously didn't have a major, but I put philosophy, which is kind of a joke now. When I was, I always thought I was going to be a professional baseball player from when I was a little kid through halfway through college. So I thought professional baseball player or working in Major League Baseball was going to be my thing. I came from a very entrepreneurial family, so I thought maybe jumping into the restaurant business could be a thing, or maybe it's something in real estate. So entertainment doesn't really run in the family at all. So it was really out of left field, to use a baseball term. But I mean, I always thought it was going to be baseball for me. And then when I didn't see many professional baseball teams looking for 5'8" right-handed pitchers, I decided to go a different way, or they decided for me, to be honest.
Big question. You're in New York City, right?
I live in Midtown Manhattan. Yep.
Okay, so did you grow up a Mets fan or Yankees fan?
Oh, I grew up in Boston. I grew up a Red Sox fan, so I'm against the grain completely. Yeah.
Okay, so you wanted to play.
All the Limeheads just tuned out.
Yeah. So you wanted to be a Red Sox over obviously any other team.
I wanted to be. My big goal in life was to be a Red Sox player. That's
Yeah.
right.
Who's your favorite Red Sox player of all time?
Roger Clemens, 21.
Okay.
I wore number 21 because of Roger. He was my favorite player, and then behind him would probably be maybe John Valentin, which is going back to the 90s.
Oh wow, yeah, yeah, of
He was
course.
our shortstop, third baseman. But Roger Clemens was really my favorite. He was my favorite player, and I kind of and I'll give you a top three. Not that all the Limeheads care. I've got a lot of Mets fans, I'm sure, on here, but Martinez would probably round out the top three.
Nice. Actually, you broke up a little bit. Can you repeat that? Repeat the top three again?
So we got Roger Clemens number one, John Valentin number two, and then 3 and 4 would be Pedro Martinez and Nomar.
Okay. Now, would you call Roger Clemens your all-time favorite baseball player, like on any team, or is there a favorite player that you just idolize that never wore the B?
No, I think it would have to be Roger number one.
Okay.
Roger number one, yeah, any team. It kind of broke my heart when he went to the Blue Jays. I was like 96, 97, but
Yeah.
I remember that. So, but like coming up, learning about baseball, playing Little League, it's like the years that you remember most, like your first baseball games when you're a kid. It was always about Roger Clemens. So,
Yeah.
He's always been my favorite player.
So yeah, like you said, a lot of people tuning in are either Mets fans or Yankee fans. I'm myself.
I'm sure.
I'm a Mets fan. So Mike Piazza was my favorite player. So if Roger Clemens was yours, Mike Piazza was mine. That's bad news right there.
I won't throw a bat at you.
No, I hope not. All right, your favorite comedian of all time?
George Carlin.
Nice.
And I don't think that I resemble any bit of his style at all. It's not really about that. It's I just like the way that he did it. He constantly was writing. He had a very philosophical approach to comedy, which was not. It was kind of against the grain in some ways. It wasn't just set up punchline like a Rodney Dangerfield or straight observational humor like a Seinfeld. It kind of it touched on more like social topics, and the repeatability of listening to the material has a different way about it because of he's talking so much about like earth issues, life issues, people issues, and the way he did it, his cadence, his delivery, every word mattered. So I think I learned a lot from watching him, and I think he's my favorite comedian ever.
Very cool. All right. Well, you just told us your favorite comedian. Let's go to movies. Your favorite comedy movie of all time?
Dumb and Dumber.
Oh my God, dude, that's my favorite.
Nothing even comes close.
No.
I think it's interesting because a lot of women don't understand at all. It's a lot of guys' favorite comedy movie.
Yeah.
Because it's slapsticky, it's wacky, it's weird. But the writing is so good. The writing is so good. There's so many jokes in that movie. It's almost like our generation's Airplane. If you go back one generation, the Dumb and Dumber of 15 or 20 years earlier was definitely Airplane. And then we have, we're joke. But Dumb and Dumber, the repeatability of watching that is incredible. Like I watch it and I catch new jokes or new little things I haven't seen before every time I watch it. So yeah, that's definitely my favorite comedy. Number 2 would be Wayne's World, I think.
Okay. Both good choices. That's so funny that you said Dumb and Dumber because that's my favorite. Like, if we had the time, we could probably go line by line right now and do the whole movie, but we don't have that amount of time.
Oh yeah, I'm constantly quoting it. It's by far my favorite.
Are you more Lloyd Christmas or Harry Dunn?
I think I'm more Lloyd.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So now, the main reason, or one of the main reasons why we have you on is you have a very important job, being on stage. You open up for familiar people that if you are into comedy, you might know them. There's a hit TV show out there called Impractical Jokers. It's been on for a very long time. I'm sure everyone watching this knows the show. I'm talking about Sal, Joe, Q, and Murr. And Jiggy, you have the distinct honor of knowing these guys. And not only do you know them quite well, you open for them when they go out on their own, do their own comedy show. Tell us how that all happened. Tell us how it is working with them. Tell us, just the whole experience being on the road with for the funniest guys around.
Yeah. So I met them in 2013. I've been touring with them ever since. And it's definitely been a catalyst for other stuff in my career and opened a lot of doors. At this point, I consider them almost like big brothers to me.
That's
And so
awesome.
I've opened for the big tours, starting from 2013 all the way up through when we played. They sold out Madison Square Garden 2017,
Right.
which was definitely a highlight. And I met them. I was doing comedy in Florida, where I went to college, and their tour manager saw me at a comedy club there and thought it'd be a good fit. I wasn't familiar with the show, which had just kind of kicked off. I think they were on season 2 of the show, and they just started touring. So I've seen the tour grow from small theaters to arenas and everything in between. So it's quite a journey. And now the guys are doing some solo projects, which I'm involved with. Joe's doing stand up, periodically through this year, which I'm opening for, and James Murray is doing a solo show called Mur Live, which is very interactive and kind of very similar to the show in some ways. They actually put an earpiece in my ear during that show, and I go out and do Impractical Jokers live during the show, which is streamed into the theater, which has been wild.
Wow, that's cool.
So yeah, that's been definitely a main source of what I've been doing in comedy for over the years, and it's like I said, opened a lot of doors to other opportunities and my own tours, my own shows, and things like that as well.
Very cool, very cool. How is it being on the road with those guys?
Uh, Pretty much exactly what you think. I mean, people always ask if they're the same in person as they are on the television show, and they are definitely not playing characters on TV. I mean, that's what you see is what you get. They are so much fun and so different. I mean, I think those who watch the show, they are such good friends, but they are so incredibly different. Like a hang with Sal and a hang with Joe are two completely different things. Or a hang with James and a hang with Joe, everything is their interests are different. Um, so they're all very different, which makes touring a lot of fun. But they're joined by this common bond that they have, which is being friends since high school, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Cool. But now, out of all the cities that you've toured with them, which tour or which city has been your favorite?
Oh gosh, that's tough. That's tough. I mean, the cities that have the best audiences are sometimes not the sexiest cities, and that's one thing that I tell my friends, what the best city to perform in show wise are usually the ones that are like Dubuque, Iowa, or
Oh, wow.
Omaha, Nebraska, because
I'm
the
sure.
shows that have the least amount of entertainment usually have the best crowds. But the best cities, I mean, I love when we go down to play New Orleans is so much. I love New Orleans as a city, but not the best place to perform because people are lit. We did a show down there, the show is going on. I'm like, are people even listening? Or people are drinking those huge koozies of frozen drinks. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on in this crowd, but they're having a great time. I don't know if they're having a great time because of me, but New Orleans is a great place to go down and visit and perform. Miami is fun. But the best crowds usually are in the middle of the country. Your Ohio's, Nebraska. I will say that the Long Island crowds, as compared to the New York City crowds, are much better. If I had to choose where to perform in New York, Long Island, I've always had so much fun performing out there at Governor's, Paramount. You guys have the Paramount is it truly is world class. I've played hundreds of theaters, arenas, comedy clubs all over the country, and the Paramount stands out. I mean, just
very cool.
People, the actual build out of the room itself, the sound, the lights, everything is first class. So
cool.
And great comedy fans on Long Island.
Everyone yeah, absolutely. All right. One of the trademarks that you have every time you go on stage, or most of the times you go on stage, we can't see it very well. You might have to slouch down, but you wear the hat with a slice of pizza. I know it's something that you wear on stage a lot. Tell us about the hat with the pizza. What does that mean, and what's all that about?
Sure. It quickly became kind of a signature thing. I've been wearing the pizza hat on stage for years, going back to 2015, I believe. So the pizzeria on my block, as everyone in New York has their go-to pizza spot, mine was on my block, and very small mom and pop little operation in there, and they have this as a neon sign in the window, and then the people who worked and make the pizza, they would wear these pizza hats. So I was like, guys, you got to make these things. You got to sell these things. And so when they finally started selling them, I grabbed them and started wearing them
Nice.
on stage, and it's been my little thing.
Yeah, you trademarked
for a while. Yeah, especially when
get,
you go, like I said, middle of the country, people go nuts for the pizza.
Go ahead, give them a shout out. You know, what pizza place we talking about?
It's a Baker's Pizza in New York City. So they have two locations, one in the East Village and one in Midtown West. I think the East Village location sadly just closed a few months ago, but they still got the Midtown West location. But good
Nice.
guides over there, and very supportive of not only myself in comedy, but other comedians in the area. They sponsor a lot of shows, and so good guys over there for sure.
Cool.
And a good slice, which is important.
But I don't know if you've tried it yet, but my favorite pizza place is actually right across the street from the Paramount, called Portofino's. I don't know if you guys have been there yet.
I haven't. I ate at the Paramount restaurant, the one that's right next to it. What's it like that? It's an Italian spot.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
Very good though.
Nice.
But I haven't been to the slice shop across the street.
Yeah, it's right on the corner, right across the street. You know, it's you got to check it out. It's my favorite pizza spot. So is pizza and Italian your favorite kind of food, or is it something else that you like better?
Oh, I mean, Italian food is my favorite. Yeah, I'm half Armenian, half Italian. So I grew up with a family who was in the restaurant business. They owned Italian restaurants. So I was always around Italian food. Pizza, you know, it's very universal. It's easy to find anywhere. So is it my favorite food? I don't know. I mean, I think a good bowl of pasta is probably my favorite food. And you could put a flip flop on top of a piece of pasta, and I would eat it. I love all pasta is probably my favorite food, but yeah, pizza is right up there, of course, too.
Cool. All right, switching gears before we end things. What about music? What kind of music do you like to listen to?
Oh man, I'm an old soul. I like 80s, 90s, like R&B. I'm like a big fan of like Janet Jackson, Michael Jackson, Luther Vandross, Bobby Brown, New Edition. But then I like pop stuff. I'm just kind of like straight pop. I like Backstreet Boys, NSYNC.
Yeah.
You know, mainstream pop, R&B, New Jack Swing.
Cool.
That's my go-to stuff.
All right. Now,
Michael Jackson's my favorite artist.
What's that?
Michael Jackson's my favorite artist.
All right. He's a lot of people's favorite artist. You know, it's a good choice. It's a good choice. Yeah. But before we let you go, is any jokes or anything you're working on that you want to share with us, or because this video you'd rather not?
Oh God, I don't know. I mean, I have notebooks full of ideas. They don't really translate to this sort of thing. But like I've been writing a lot about just, you know, growing up, and I've been reflecting about my elementary school and trying to be. I think my generation now is getting to the reflection point part of age where like you can look back and things that I was experiencing in like the late 90s, early 2000s are now very different to the generation behind me.
Oh, right, of course.
I've been trying to reflect on that a lot. But do I have a quick joke? I don't know. Nothing that's, I don't know.
All right.
I'm more of a storyteller, yeah.
Yeah. We didn't mean to put the pressure on you, you know?
I encourage people to come out to a show, though, or follow me on Instagram. That's where like I've been posting a lot of clips and things.
All right, so we're here with Jiggy, and Jiggy, we have come to the part of the interview called the Limelight. Limelight is actually sponsored by good friends of ours at the Wrestling POV podcast. If you're watching this video and you're a professional wrestling fan, you got to check him out, Wrestling POV. And right now, Jiggy, the Limelight is a chance for you to, you know, like I said, plug your social media, tour dates, websites, whatever you want to plug. And the Limelight is all yours. Go for it.
All right, great. Yeah, if people want to follow me, it's at Jiggy Comedy, like getting jiggy with it. It's at Jiggy Comedy, Jiggy Comedy on Instagram, and it's jiggycomedy.com, and that has all my upcoming tour dates and some more information if people want to dive in. So yeah, that's it. The Limelight has closed.
Yeah. All right, very cool. So once again, Jiggy, thank you for taking your time out. We know you're busy. You know, you're constantly on the road. You know, either on a show by yourself or with the Impractical Jokers, which is awesome. You know, good luck and with the rest of the way, and we'll see you on down the road.
All right. Thank you, Todd. Appreciate it.
Yep.